there they go. Back in stadium, the shady spit the flow. Nuts they go, macadamia, they go so ballistic. Whoa, he can make them look like bozos. He's wondering if he should spit this slow. Fuck no, go for broke. His cup just runs over. Oh no, he ain't had him a boss like this since the last time that he overdosed. They've been waiting.
What's going on, everybody? It's the Tilted Reality Podcast. We got myself and we got ECKA. What's good, buddy?
What's going on, y'all? You already know the ting. How we doing, Odie?
Yeah, not too bad. Just, relaxing.
Nice.
Excited for tonight's podcast. We got some crazy shit going on tonight. So we got a couple topics tonight. We got our special guest, Mr. Travis Bragg, Mr. Vato.
AKA Mr. Vato.
Mr. Vato. We got some skater spotlights tonight. We got what else we got?
We got a new clip of the week, new Hall of Meat clip. We also got a team edit of the month as well tonight.
Let's go. Because it is legitimately the end of the month.
Yep.
And then, of course, we've got, our favorite segment. Well, my favorite segment, especially from last week, which is what skate video parts inspired you to go out and skate as a kid?
Oh, yeah. Odie's got a real treat, a real banger for you guys today.
Old school. Because, I'm fucking old.
We're both up there, y'all.
Okay.
All right? We're both seasoned is the proper term, I believe. But without further ado, before we degrade ourselves and remind ourselves on how old we really are, let's go ahead and move to the first topic of the night.
Mr. Vato, how are you doing?
Good, how's it going?
Not too bad, not too bad. How are the kids doing?
Frustrating.
Frustrating. I know the feeling, dude. I know the feeling, man. I know the feeling.
Definitely can relate to that. Well, we're thanks for taking time out of your day to hang out with us here on the podcast, man. We appreciate it.
Definitely appreciate it. So do you want to just jump right into the questions there, ECKA?
Yeah. So the first question that we want to ask you, Mr. Vato, sir. What?
Mr. Vato, sir.
Sorry, I'm trying to be proper here, man. All right, trying to be profesh.
Trying to be profesh.
So what got you into session?
Mm-hmm.
And that's like covering
story.
just in general, like both playing it, modding it, what have you.
I bought Session and Skater XL at the same time on Steam.
Okay.
Like, God, I don't know, 2018 or something. 2019. Somewhere back then. But I tried both of them and hated both of them. And kept playing Skate 3 till Skater XL dropped on console. And then I picked it up again on console, and I was playing on there for about a month before I was informed of modding.
Ooh.
So I ended up going back to my computer and learning about how to like mod for Skater XL, making maps and shit. And then a buddy of mine talked me into trying out Session again, and I tried it on PC this time because once I moved over to XL and modded gaming, I pretty much haven't touched my console since.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, I think that's the same for a lot of PC players out there.
Yeah, man.
So I played XL for about 6 months with like modding and making, maps and random gear and shit.
Mm-hmm.
And then my buddy talked me into playing Session, trying it out again, and I had a lot of fun because it was hard. I thought Skater XL was super easy, but it was, better than Skate 3.
Yeah.
So I got on it. It was hard as fuck, but then he talked me into porting one of my maps over to XL, which is the Ricoville map.
Here goes question number 2. No, I'm just joking. Go ahead.
So I started working on maps because of the Ricoville map, and it just kind of stuck me. I was in school at the time for game design, and I was learning about game development and stuff, and I like Unreal Engine over Unity, so I just kind of stayed in Session and pretty much haven't touched XL since I moved over.
Sick. For those that don't know, which I'm pretty sure is very, very small select few of us, in the session community. Vato has made a few games in the past. Frivolous Carnage is a twin stick shooter zombie killing game. You've just created Misled Madness. And then while in school, you created a game with, I believe, a couple other students.
Yeah.
Yeah, called Ash Protector of Ignicity.
Oh, that one actually was not in school. That was part of
Oh,
internship game jam
right.
that turned into like continuous development on it.
Crazy. When I watched that gameplay for the first time, I was like, oh, I want to play this.
Yeah, it looks like really fun. Like, I'm not gonna lie.
I got addicted, then rage quit. Game's fun as shit, dude.
We were gonna continue working on it, but for about a month, I was the only, or no, 6 weeks. I was the only person who did anything in Unity, and at that point, I was kind of burnt out on the game. Like, I was like, I don't really want to work on this anymore.
I got you.
And the guy at the company I was interning at decided to give me 3 more programmers to help me with the game, and they ended up adding in like 1 new level, a couple new enemies, and a new boss fight.
Nice.
So that was all right.
I mean, for what it's
But
worth, it
after
looks
that, we
sick.
called it quits.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely a fun one to work on.
I gotta ask you, man, what inspired you to get into like game development and or game modding per se?
You know, to be honest, I'm not really sure. I've always played games and always wanted to make them. I tried going to college in like 2010 for game design, but I ended up in a bunch of trouble and got like backed up with my classwork, so I just ended up dropping out.
Hmm.
As life
And then
sometimes happens.
yeah, right. Yeah, that was that was a pretty rough couple weeks there, but I ended up deciding to go back, different school, but same degree line. Um, 2018, I think. I got signed up to start in 2019.
Sweet.
Nice.
That's fucking
And then,
dope, dude.
yeah, like I started the school and then I started modding almost at the same time. I enjoy the actual content creation, like, modding for sessions been super fun for me because I love skateboarding and I like creating things. So, being able to put those two together has been helpful.
Nice.
I think it's safe to say that you've been one of the more pinnacle modders in the community for sure.
Agreed.
And we
You're
definitely got
probably
some
the
people in the shadows that have
mhm.
done a lot more than I have, but I try to do my part.
There you go.
I think it's safe to say that you succeed, man.
Oh yeah, for sure. Definitely for sure.
Because in every sub, every forum that I have seen lately, when it comes to modding session, your
You're
name,
commenting.
yeah, your name pops up the absolute most. Like, obviously, there's honorable mentions for like Puzzle Peach, um,
Chewy.
Chewy, Tip,
Blitztown.
and
Mhm.
every modder is doing an amazing job. But like from what I've seen, like evidence shows that like you're like essentially like the guy, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say the guy.
Yeah, and definitely the most known,
Mm-hmm.
that's for sure. But like Chewy, for example, you mentioned Chewy. I'm
Yeah, I
pretty
did.
sure I think I would have done anything I've done for a session other than map creation if it weren't for Chewy helping me to like understand a lot of how Unreal works. Because when I first started modding session, I was not familiar with Unreal at all. I'd barely dug into it through school, and almost all of my work up to that point was in Unity. Spargo actually introduced me to like my first blueprint script that made sense to me,
Okay.
and it was basic. It was really basic. It was just teleporting a player, but like
Ooh.
the way he walked me through it and understanding like how it worked, it like kind of made blueprinting click for me. And then Chewy came along and taught me a lot more way advanced stuff, which is helped for the physics menu, for example,
Mm-hmm.
and
Legend,
the
by the
port
way, for
break
doing that.
mod. Um, those definitely would not have been possible if it wasn't for a lot of shit that Chewy taught me.
Shout out just the whole like modding community.
Modding
itself.
community.
It goes to
sure.
show just like the actual like the IRL skate community, like we're all here to take care of our own.
Yep, we're all here for the community, man.
And I love seeing that,
You know,
man.
speaking of that, I'm actually working right now. I'm going to not be working on session mods anymore. I made a promise to a friend that I would not do that because I'm going to be helping him with his game.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I won't be working on any more session mods. But tonight I'm packaging up my last one, I guess. It's not really a mod, more of a template for mapping. But
Okay.
I'm going to be including a lot of small blueprint stuff in it for map makers, like movable objects like rails I can lift up and down or
Ooh.
whatever. I got my blueprint in there for the cracks, the vibration on the cracks that I added in Sunday school.
Mm-hmm.
I love that
and then
detail, bro. Like,
Oh, I know, right?
sorry to interrupt, but like that.
No, you're good.
Fucking awesome.
And then I got like the reverb that I added in the SLS hanger map.
Right.
I got the reverb in there for them so they can use it.
Nice.
There's gonna be a few other things I'm gonna add in there too, like random spawn points and whatever. I'm gonna try to get as much stuff in there as I can for like a good base template, so that I can just give it out and new people can come try to make some fun, interesting shit.
Legend, man.
Yeah, that'll be my last hurrah, so to speak. But yeah, after that, I'm gonna be working with the van as much as possible to help him with Skate Lab, see what can be done with that.
Do you like / not like about Unity and UE5? Or sorry, and Unreal?
Like compared to Unreal.
Yeah.
Okay, so just right off the rip, the appearance. Like Unity looks like the program came from the fucking 80s, and Unreal is very modern and easy for a new user to read.
Okay.
Unity just looks basic as fuck. Like, I'm sorry, Unity, but your shit looks like, Windows 98 ran it.
Fuck.
I was about to at some point ask, like, how would you like compare the two for those that don't understand like game engines? Like, what would be like the
That's
good base
funny.
comparison? That's all I needed to know right there for Unity.
Perfect. And
So
for those that don't know what Windows 98 is, it's an old ass operating system from like,
yeah, back in our day.
Back in our day.
We didn't know what 64-bit was. We only had 32.
We barely knew what 8-bit
That's right.
was.
We barely even knew what 8-bit was. Fuck.
Exactly. What do you think about AI and its ability to write code and create programs?
Awesome question.
I am all for AI to an extent. I don't approve of taking credit for AI's work. Like in my eyes, artificial intelligence is its own being, right? Like it's its own thing,
right?
And it should be credited for what it creates.
Agreed.
And people who, like right now we got really bad art epidemic where like fucking people are making all this AI art and selling it and taking all the credit and all the money, and like to me that's shady. And we got people that are worried about AI taking over and whatever, and it's like, well, when you treat it like a tool that to just be used, it wouldn't surprise me if it did. Like,
for real, right? Can we get your thoughts on the move to UE5 as a modder, game maker, person with Session?
well, there's definitely a lot of optimizations in Unreal 5. I've been using it for Misled Madness, and Skate Lab is in Unreal 5, which I haven't done much in, but hopefully that'll change soon. But I think that the change is going to be very beneficial. I think we're going to get some better performance. So, like the physics calculations and everything will run smoother. Hopefully less collision bugs. Like I don't know that the bounce will be fixed, but I think there's a much higher chance for it being fixed in Unreal 5.
Yeah,
that's what I said.
The potential for multiplayer is better, but still not necessarily on the table.
Yeah. That was actually going to be a follow-up question for me.
Yeah, I know they're pretty heavy against it being
Mm-hmm.
possible right now. I mean, I don't
Mm-hmm.
personally believe that it's not possible. I think that it is, but I don't have access to the project and the code and
Mm-hmm.
the ability to fuck with it. So
Yeah. Because I
I've
know
made
that,
my attempts.
yeah, I know that you've made your attempts, and Dizzy has made his attempts as well. And I know that you guys have collectively tried to make an attempt, and just fucking nowhere. You guys need the source code. 2-part question. Do you think it's going to be easier or harder to, one, make new maps in UE5, and 2, is it going to be, are all of our mods going to be broken? I think that's the big question everybody wants to know.
Every model break.
Nah, I figured as much.
That's for sure.
Mhm.
Every model break because they'll be cooked in a different Unreal
Yeah.
version. When it compiles the code, it's compiled
Mhm.
differently in every version. So that will definitely break. There's a slight possibility that texture mods won't. Like when we moved from 4.2.5 to 4.2.6, 4.2.7, texture mods didn't break.
Mhm.
But anything that was like programmed in any way, like materials, maps, any blueprint mods, that stuff all broke. Every bit of it. Any meshes as well.
Okay. So with that being said, are they going to be able to port their maps? Are we still going to be able to keep our maps if they port them over?
If the person still has their projects, they
Okay.
can migrate from one engine version to the next.
Nice.
There may like, especially if there's anything programmed in it, like
Mm.
for example, DTLA has the day-night cycle with the lights and the cars, like that's all programmed stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That stuff could break, but should be relatively easy to fix. They had a change in like one of the variables, it's called a float. It's like a decimal point value.
Okay.
There's two versions. There's a single float and a double float. The double just holds more information, bigger file size.
Mhm.
Um, but I I merged one of my games up to Unreal 5 from 4.2.7, and it broke a bunch of the code in my character because of that new variable change.
Mhm.
I see.
That's not necessarily going to break everywhere, but things could break, but they should be relatively easy to fix.
Mhm.
And then as far as like map layout, textures, all that stuff, most of that shit should just merge over just fine. So it's definitely possible. It shouldn't be too complicating to do. As long as they have the files. If they don't have the files,
Mhm.
ripping them and rebuilding them is a pain in the ass.
I think we do have one last
I
question
was
from
just
our
gonna
live
say.
viewers. Someone asked, "How long did it take for you to make Misled
Oh,
Madness?"
Well, technically, I'm not done with it.
bah,
Been working on it for roughly about a year, but like very
sporadic.
intermittently. Yeah, and like
Yeah.
it's not like I work on it all the time because I get burnt out on things when I do that.
Mhm.
So like I'll work on it for like a week or two, and then I'll take a break and work on some other things and get back to it. But
Okay.
yeah, I've been working on it for about a year. It started out as a class project. Uh, I was supposed to make a board game, but I fucking hate tabletop games.
Mm.
So I talked to my teacher and to let me just work on the video game, and he was
Mhm.
all about it.
Sweet.
And yeah, I got the core of it, moving, jumping. It wasn't great when I submitted my stuff, but it did what it was supposed to do.
Mhm.
And then over time, I've been working on like new levels and smoothing out the jumping mechanics and everything to make it feel better, which has had a lot of changes to it over
Mhm.
the past year. And actually, yesterday or the day before, I just implemented a roll. So there's gonna
Yeah.
be some hazards that you can like roll underneath and try to
Ooh,
avoid that way.
fun.
Um,
Oh, excuse me. Mhm.
that one, it's technically early access right now. It's not complete, but the core of the game is pretty complete.
Okay. We got one more question. It's actually kind of, pertinent to the whole UE thing. Will there be more modding features? I know it'll be tougher or different, but does it actually expand the modding options at all with the move to
Going on
UE
Unreal
5?
5.
Yeah.
I don't know, to be honest. I think it's gonna be relatively the same.
Okay.
Like right now, you can do anything you want in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for example, the session BP mod loader that Chewy made, um, that replaces the game's character and added extra functionality so that we can load more mods in.
Mm-hmm.
The physics menu was adding a whole new thing to the game that didn't previously exist. Like, you can do anything you want in there.
Mm-hmm.
Just more of a matter of knowing how. So there was a while there that people were bothering Creature and telling them that, like, oh, Vato's over here doing this, why can't you guys do it, and blah blah blah. By the way, I fucking hate that. Don't do that, please.
Please.
Um, because like they're a small team, and I'm one person who can work on a specific thing that
Mm-hmm.
is not following their specific deadlines that they need to make. So like I have more freedom to do whatever the fuck I want than they do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they have certain things they have to do, certain steps they have to make or whatever. Another issue that came from that was people saying that they stole my mods and put them in the game, which is not fucking true. But for example, the board breaking mod, nothing in the current board breaking in game came from me.
Mm.
I don't even think the inspiration came from me because I'm pretty sure they had planned on doing it before I ever started.
Okay.
But I think what the reason they added it in game was more so because of how widely accepted it seemed in the modding community. How
Mm.
much people liked it. They're like, all right, we'll put it in game.
Cool.
But it wasn't anything of mine, so they definitely didn't steal shit from me.
There you go.
If anything, I'm constantly stealing from them. I'm using their game to make shit. So
Right.
Robin Hood
But,
situation.
Robin Hood.
right. So that's not the case at all. And speaking of that, I offered to Monkhead one day. I was talking to Monkhead a little bit, and I told him, I'm like, if there's ever anything I work on that you guys are like really interested in, want to see, and whatever, like, feel free to reach out to me, dude. I'll give you everything I got.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need any compensation for it or anything like that. For me, the board breaking coming into game was awesome. I
Yeah.
didn't need to work on it anymore, and console players could have it.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, it's a win-win. Like, fuck yeah, dude, you guys can have anything I make. So they already, even if it were the case that they took something I did, they already have permission for it, so it ain't stealing.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much, Vato, for coming out on the stream. Always really good. Yeah. Thank you guys. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day and
Mm-hmm.
answering some crazy questions that we had.
Yeah, no
ECKA, you want
problem.
to say anything, man?
I think I speak for all of us in the session community that we appreciate everything that you've done.
Everything that you do.
For real. Like,
Mhm.
absolute legend
Thank you.
status right here, man.
Yeah, hopefully hopefully this new template project helps out a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Gets people to make some maps.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much for what you've done for the community.
Yeah, man. So for today's Hollow Meat, decided to say fuck it and send something in myself. I was filming clips the other day here at Brooklyn Banks for a video part.
It's the 13, right?
Yeah, this is the 13 rail. And I was trying to do just a simple kickflip front board, and yeah, well, this happened.
Let's re-see that. Just bonk.
Mm-hmm.
Concussion.
Sandbag got hung up, and yeah, bonked my head on the rail. Yeah, my skater.
Ouch.
My skater is currently resting up right now.
No doubt.
Hey, you good, bro? Okay,
you good?
he's still breathing. He's still breathing. We're fine.
No, he's not. No, he's not.
Okay, no, he moved. I threw my lighter at him. He moved. Okay, we're good.
All right, good.
Yeah, Hollow Meat, guys. Presented by me and my body. Ow.
All right. So who we got for clip of the week?
got trefliptony for clip of the week.
It's a hard flip body varial over a flat gap, right?
Yeah, flat gap going from top of one mini stair set to the other at the San Francisco map.
Huge hard flip.
We'll run that back one more time for y'all, because that was just
sick.
So well done.
Shout out trefliptony.
Beautifully well done. And just to remind everybody, we also have a submission form for clip of the week. So,
yes.
You know, if you got a clip, you got a section in a video that you put out, you know, send it in.
Yep. We also do Hall of Meat, and we are featuring Skater of the Month. Next week's podcast will feature a Skater of the Month for May. Yes. Or sorry, for April. For April. I already have my Skater of the Month already picked. I'm not sure about ECKA, but I've already got mine.
Working on it as we speak.
Nice. But yeah, I think that concludes our podcast.
Yeah.
I think we've hit all of our topics tonight.
Yeah, we definitely did. Before we end things tonight, just want to say quickly again, shout out to Vato for taking time out of his very hectic and busy schedule to be on the podcast with us and answer some questions that we as the session community and modding community have had for him. Vato, if you're listening to this later on, again, dude, much love and big up to yourself for just everything you've done for the session community. Like, I think it's safe to say we would not be where we're at as a community had it not been for what you've done for it, for real.
From the session community and from myself and ECKA, we thank you so much for everything that you've done.
Absolutely. And again, everybody, big up to yourselves that are listening into this now on Spotify, watching this on YouTube, or even checking us live right now on this broadcast. Appreciate every one of you guys being here, tuning in, vibing out, and supporting us here. We really appreciate it.
Yeah. All right, guys. Tilted Reality Podcast, episode number 2.
Yep.
Epic. We'll see you guys next week.
Catch you guys later.
Take it easy.
There they go, back in stadium, the shady switches flow. Nuts they go, macadamian, they go so ballistic, whoa. He can make them look like bozos, he's wondering if he should spit this slow. Fuck no, go for broke, his cup just runs over, oh no. He ain't had him a boss like this since the last time that he overdosed. They've been waiting patiently for Pinocchio to poke his nose.